It's coffee o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. The Grand Prix has just finished. I just watched the end of the season, Grand Prix, December the 1st, 2019. And after the Grand Prix, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time, I'm looking for a cup of coffee before I have a beer later on. So today I thought I'd make a video on a bit of a versus battle. This is the Nespresso Krups Starbucks Pike Place Roast coffee capsule that goes in an espresso machine, and this is the Starbucks Latte Macchiato Smooth and Creamy by Nescafe Dolce Gusto. The difference with this is that I believe, so we have, I'm going to show you how to use these now. So we have one coffee, one milk, slightly different system. So we're going to do a versus battle, show you how to make these coffees and review them to see which one's the best. Let's get going. Right, so we have the two systems, the Dolce Gusto here, the Krups Nespresso here, and we're using two identical size mugs so we can give it a really fair kind of go here. So with an Nespresso, you open the top, you just slide the capsule in, close it. Very similar with a, I'm going to do coffee first. Put that in there, the capsule, slide it in, simply close it. I've pre-warmed them. You have to lift that on the espresso, that gently fits under there, so it's all working great. And then you flick the top here, and press the button on each one, and off they go. So they both look like they're giving off very similar heat levels. What I generally find with the Nespresso system is that because it's a capsule and not a milk sachet, you've got to add the milk later on. So what you're looking for is when the coffee starts to turn to water, so you've got to manually turn the Dolce Gusto off. And then what you have to do, which is a little bit of a faff, but not too much, because remember you've got to put the milk in an espresso anyway, so you have to put the milk sachet in next. That goes in, turn it back on, and there's your milk. But what you find with the Nespresso is it don't give you enough, so you give it another tap on the large cup button, and then off we go again. So remembering to turn off the Dolce Gusto. In the past I've forgotten to turn it off and it's gone everywhere. So that one's finished. This one's still going, but I'm going to turn it off now because I need to add some milk. There we go. So let's do the taste test. A quick one before the tasting. Nespresso handily give you a bag to recycle the little pots. So jam them in a bag. The next time it fills up, take it into their Nespresso kind of centres. They got them in John Lewis, I believe, and centred around the UK. And then they recycle them for you for free. The same can't be said for the Dolce Gusto. It's a bit more difficult. You have to peel the top off, empty it, then you've got to clean a little plastic layer, and then you can recycle a little pot yourself. So it's a little bit more of a faff. So, this cream egg is the Dolce Gusto. Let's first of all do a heat and a taste test, because I found with these systems, I bought one system, and then I thought it's not giving me hot enough coffee, so I bought another system, and it was a bit warmer. But that's good. Is it like having, this is the question, is it like having a Starbucks coffee in a Starbucks? This is the one with the milk powder, the Dolce Gusto. It's roasty, it's tasty. It's very warm, it's very hot. It's a decent cup of coffee. But you can, do you know years ago my grandma used to buy the premium kind of powders that you used to empty into a cup, mix them up and drink them. A bit like instant coffee but in like a powder, weird packet powder form. This tastes a little bit like that. Little bit powdery, like powdered milk and powdered coffee. If your taste buds goes down that route, which mine generally do if I'm honest, then you're going to want the Dolce Gusto. Now then, the Nespresso pod. It's definitely cooler. Now this was my issue. This tastes like a premium mug of coffee. The coffee bean flavours are stronger, they're more bitter. This is more like, I would say, an Italian coffee over a Starbucks coffee. This is like drinking a proper Italian coffee. A good quality coffee, but the problem I have with this machine is that it doesn't let out enough hot water enough. So it's going into a cold mug and it generally dribbles the coffee out, and while it's dribbling it out, it's not having enough time to, number one, warm the glass, the mug, and the liquid's cooling around this cold glass. It's not, if it was shot in there quickly, then the liquid around that liquid would keep itself warm. This is kind of like, I'll show you. You really glug that back. It's not lukewarm, it's warm, but I like my coffees warmer, hotter. Plus the fact I want milk in my coffee. So when you add the milk as well, that again adds the problem of this machine cooling. The liquid's just not warm enough. You could bang it in the microwave for a few minutes, a couple of 30 seconds, a minute. But that's not the point, is it? This should be fast. They advertise these systems as being fast, good coffee in the home. They don't advertise the fact that you've got to put it in the microwave to get it to the right temperature. So this is the reason why we have two machines. My wife likes the Krups because of the taste of the coffee. And I don't suppose she minds having it kind of just above lukewarm. My issue is I like a hot cup of coffee, and I'm a bit more a man of the streets. I don't mind more of a kind of like a powdery kind of coffee. Most of the time, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I pop up to Lidl's or Aldi and I buy their Bellerum Gold, and I just whack some granules in the glass, boil the kettle, milk, stir, and I'm away. 30 seconds, a minute. That's my normal mug of coffee. So for me, this Dolce Gusto is a premium coffee because it's very nice tasting. Oh, and I've just made the mistake of, it stays warmer longer. Look, you should be able to see it steaming. It's a steaming hot cup of coffee. So I preferred the Dolce Gusto over the Nespresso because I think the pods are about the same price. It's a hotter cup of coffee, and I prefer the taste. I'm not a premium coffee drinker. I prefer the taste of a cheap cup of coffee. So they both have their pluses and minuses. The recycling part of it is a bit of a nightmare. I think I chucked I got a different pod here. I think I chucked the good one away as an example. Yeah, here's I definitely used the Starbucks one, I promise you. But I used the wrong one as an example. I think it was hot. That was it. This was a one we used this morning, cold, and I used that as an example of the recycling. So we did. You've seen me put it in the machine. So yeah, just a final thought on a rating then for me. I would prefer the Dolce Gusto over the Nespresso machine because of the heat, and the other thing is that I suppose the downside is the recycling. If the Dolce Gusto could get hold of their recycling, if they could do a similar thing where they give out bags and you recycle the coffee in pots and then you take them somewhere, then even better. So for me, the Dolce Gusto wins hands down. Comment, let me know what you think. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews and coffee reviews and everything else reviews. Stone the Crows, boom, cheers.